Ford. His father sent him down there. They opened the door and the guy fell out, and they drug him into Betty Ford. We became really, really good friends, and he is now the sheriff of Ketchum, Idaho. And this is 8 years ago. So talking about turning someone's life totally around. And I just spoke to him the other day, and he was in a patrol car. He had he was busy. His father is president of Time Water in New York. Very proud of his son. Finally got his stuff together.
What about those? There's got to be especially some of the folks we've heard from tonight. Some of the younger folks who, you know how it is in school. You go through school, and somebody's always trying to push you in one direction or another, and unfortunately, some kids fall off the edge, and they might be the musicians, the ones who aren't the student council type people, who might be maybe more aware of the treatments and things like that. What kind of message can you give these guys? That say, well, all their friends probably telling them, if you really want to play really good, you have to get kind of a buzz on, because otherwise, like the music's just better. I mean, if you want to write Inagata Davida, you have to have.
You have a point there.
Yeah, you have to be really stoned or something. But
I don't know. I don't know if that stuff still goes on. I know a lot of people are talking about that is not hip anymore to be that way. It's all we can do is just keep on talking and try to let them know that. From a rocker like myself, it's just not where it's at. You can play much better. You can hear what you're doing. You're responsible for your own mistakes. And the gratification is just 10 times better.
What about that? What about their being responsible for mistakes? I mean, somebody certainly might want, especially if they're unsure of themselves, they might not want to make any mistakes. And if they make any, they might not want to know they're making them.
That's true, but it's just good to know this stuff, because you know how to correct yourself. If you're serious about what you're doing, you need to weed those little mistakes out, and the earlier you can get to them, the better you'll be in the long run.
Well, in your years of phantomness, were you, other than performing your task, which you were doing fine, because, as you said, if you play the songs 100 times, you kind of have to get used to playing them. How about the creative process? Were you writing stuff, or were you just kind of doing that and then?
No, I wasn't writing. I wrote years before that, before I got involved in it. But it's funny. In the beginning, you tend to stretch out because you're having fun with the drug or alcohol, and as you get more mature with the drug or alcohol, it sort of stifles you because you don't want to take any chances. You sort of like tend to back up and just do what you know how to do, and hope you don't get too high so you can do your job. And but I don't know. It plays tricks with you. That's what it does. It sets you up and plays tricks with your mind, and you can't do anything. It's not important. Nothing's important to you. I mean, you say, what about your writing? If there was writing in your mind, you never thought about it because you were too high to think that you could write. You're too busy getting high. No time to eat. You get high. You're better off if you don't eat because you get higher. I mean, I got to the point in the end where I closed all my shades and parked my cars in the backyard so nobody thought I was home. I wouldn't answer the phone. And I go to a different liquor store every day so nobody would think I had a problem. And, thank God some people wondered what was going on with Danny, So,
Where do you see yourself now if you hadn't gotten some help, if you hadn't got yourself together?
Boy, I don't know. It's almost like this was meant to be. I couldn't see myself living any other way. I couldn't get to where I was going that way anymore. What happened is I could drink and drug all night long and not get high anymore. I couldn't get to the place I was going. It just sort of like, I like, people have allergy shots and they just try to give them chocolate over and over, and eventually they become immune to it. That's what happens. I became immune to alcohol and drugs after a while. I just sort of like suspended in some limbo place, which was terrible.
And then you have to continue the substance just to maintain a norm, almost.
Yeah, and it was a real lousy norm. I wasn't even a fun norm anymore.
Let me take our last call. I think we're almost out of time here. Is this Tim?
Yes, it is.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Okay.
I'm just really, I guess it's a closing note. I'm really happy to be calling and talking to Danny. I just wanted to know what your childhood and what got you into drugs. Was it your childhood?
It's an interesting question. I'm actually adopted.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like want to go back and find out if there was any hereditary stuff in my adopted family. But I know that I had my adopted parents, the people who adopted me, my father's Italian. He used to give me a little drink now and again. You know, it was sort of manly.
Yeah.
But all that stuff plays a part.
Now, at one point, what was your low? What was your real rock bottom low?
My low is, like I was telling Kevin, was in my house, my shades closed, cars parked in the backyard, and sitting on the floor in my kitchen, on my knees, looking at my ceiling and praying. Because I could get no lower.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Hey, Danny, let me just say, keep on rocking. You're the best.
Right on.
Street band, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks for your call, Tim. We're actually winding down, and I want to end on the high and not on the low. Because we know where
thinking about that experience.
we know where you we knew where you were. We know where you are now.
Where are we?
Wall Township.
Yeah, well, you know, some of that stuff is like...
and it's moving day, and you've been loading a truck all day. But I really, you know, we're friends, and I know this was a tough decision for you to make, to come down here. And if any of these people who called, and the many more who were watching who didn't get a chance to call or didn't want to get the message, I think that's worth it. I think we did what we set out to do.
If we can influence one, made my night.
And I'm sure we did, and I thank you for that, and I'm sure the folks that are watching thank you for that. And I wish you the best of luck in California. I hope it's what you want to do, you know, and I hope when you get, well, I know you've been there off and on, but when you get there, everything goes the way you want to. And we always have a spot for you right here in that chair.
Okay.
And over at my house, you know that, so you know, we'll keep you out of trouble. I know you'll be back and forth doing some performing. Do you have one word left for the folks? We have about 30 seconds.
I don't know. I guess if you feel you have a problem and you know you have a problem, you should take charge of the situation, you know, and if it's one of your loved ones who have a problem and you just keep making excuses like Kathleen was saying, you're taking on their problem. It is their problem. Sometimes the best thing to do is to leave a relationship or scare the relationship.
And for myself and Dan Federici, God bless you. Take care of yourselves. And please, like I said, reach out for help. Give me a call. I'll tell you who to call if you don't know where to start. It's what we're here for. Good night.